Hi, everyone. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's blog post. I want to spend a few minutes today talking about one of the primary functions I think we have as loan officers, and probably the whole reason for our being is the quality of the experience that we set to the customer. And I think one of the ways that we do that and we tie it all together is by understanding our position in our market and realizing that national issues have very real or sometimes none at all local implications. Different things that happen in the marketplace may not affect your market at all. When we had challenges with jumbo loans, and the number of people who were doing them and the availability, a large majority of my clients who very rarely, if ever, do a jumbo loan, their average loan sizes are $200,000 and less, didn't impact them at all. While the people that I work with out in California were really put in a position because a vast majority of their loans were in the jumbo arena. So it is important to understand that, we're dealing in unprecedented times between the whole challenge with racism and defunding the police. You put that on top of COVID-19. We're dealing with still forbearance and the cost of people not being aware of what things are doing or impacting their credit and what it means to them. The fact that QM is going to have to be dealt with between now and sometime in January. We've certainly still seeing falling interest rates, which is impacting the mortgage market and all sorts of different ways. We're dealing with unemployment. We're dealing with China. All of those things come back to the fact that many of my clients are really seeing capacity issues. They're doing loans that at a volume that they never even thought possible, and now doing it on a consistent basis. And then we add to that mix, we've got a presidential election, and you put that all together, and there's all sorts of things that we have to deal with, stresses that are in the system, both nationally, but more importantly, how that filters down to local markets. And again, some or all of these things weigh completely differently in my clients' markets all across the country. You have to look at this. And part of the reason we're reaching out and connecting with our clients and our referral partners, and we have since coronavirus had started, was to get our finger on the pulse of what's been going on in our marketplace and how people are reacting to it. Again, because you can't just watch the national news and make the assumption that all or any of those things apply to you in your local market. And understanding that everything is got to be filtered through you so that you still have the plan to deal with all of these things and work through what is a successful transaction, and preparing your client for how certain things may impact others. And it is important. And that's why I talk about so much, professional awareness. It can often be your biggest asset. When we focus on the quality of the client experience, when we focus on what the client is thinking about, talking about, afraid of, we can help create peace of mind for that client and for that referral partner. I mean, let's be honest, right now it's not hard to go online and very quickly identify a place where you can turn around in a handful of minutes and begin what may very well be a terrible experience. In fact, it's almost uncommon that people don't have a terrible experience. And when they have a great mortgage experience, or even a reasonable or a nice mortgage experience, people are overwhelmed. Referral partners are overwhelmed because they're expecting mortgage people to have excuses, delays, not return phone calls, provide misinformation, deal with additional costs and delays all along this process, they're almost expecting that. That's been largely what the experience is. And so my message to you guys today is, again, remembering what our base values are, is the fact that we always are in a position to deal with national issues and filter them into our local situations, because it becomes really apparent for those people, especially now, who are focused on transactions and transactions only. It's really easy to buy a leads list, pound the phones, and fill a pipeline full of people who want to refinance. It's not hard at all to treat loans like a commodity. It's not hard to look at this with all the opportunities that are out there and just pound one after the other, thinking only about the transactional value. And to be honest with you, that's going to be the death knell of many loan originators when this cycle is over, because you've got to pay attention to the client experience. When this is going on, you have to remember so many people are in need of help, because a great price on the wrong product doesn't solve anything for anybody. I'm seeing people now refinance into lower rates, and what they really needed to do was list and sell their house and buy the one they really wanted. But that never came up. It was never part of the discussion. So it's really important that you as a mortgage professional look at yourself, your process, how you interview people, how your referral partners are framing the picture, at making sure that you're asking the questions of the people. What are they trying to accomplish? What are they thinking about when it comes to this transaction? Because in a lot of times people have come up with their own solution to a challenge when that may not very well be the challenge. And I think it's really important that you understand that from a national perspective, these things impact people differently, because everybody's market being different. If somebody in a call center in Detroit may not understand the nuances of dealing with an FHA loan and the possible seller contribution. Some people in Indiana don't understand, from a call center, how the mechanics work and what they really can do. Other people can sit there in their call centers and not be aware that, how are we going to work a $600,000 VA loan in Virginia? How is that going to happen? What are the nuances of single pay premiums? How are these things going to happen? And the answer is, how many FHA loans are being streamlined, when the reality of it is they should be out of FHA completely and into a conforming loan, but nobody ever asked the question, because it was faster for that person in that call center just to sign them up and do a streamline. Yes, they saved some money, but they didn't save all the money. And that's the problem. So understand, national issues have local implications. There is a big rush behind these companies building these huge call centers stocked with loan officers or order takers who, quite frankly, were never very good at building relationships or caring about the client experience. That's why they're there. And to the people where that doesn't matter, that's fine. But there is a huge contingency of people who would really opt into having a true professional handle their transaction if they only knew you were there. So understand, there are many questions out there that you can answer, but if the people don't even know those questions are to be asked, they never seek out that opportunity. So it's really important to keep your mind focused on where your business is. Are you that consummate local professional? Are you that expert in your market? Keeping in mind that, rate and speed are not necessarily the first two things you need to lead with in a conversation. Because for many people in this country, it's about the quality of the experience and understanding the process and making sure the choices they make work best for them and their family, even if it means telling them no, not now, maybe later, or providing them a path. And sometimes it means changing their lives for the better in ways that you'll never know. So it's really important. Understanding national issues have real local implications, and are you prepared to help guide your clients and your referral partners through this process? As always, you can reach me at mike@imtcoaching.com, and I'll talk to you again next week. Take care.